So next up we got probably the last media. Now, given I can't really give a strict name to this media because it's actually been adapted several times. So it used to be this media, but nowadays, because technological advancement and all that, they gotta cope, they gotta adapt. So now it's really gradually changing. Some of you might know, some of you might not know. Some might think it's a good addition, some might think it's not really an addition. But anyways, we're gonna talk about radio or podcast. Now, given when I say radio or podcast in this context, it's not the usual video or the usual kind of podcast, given it still strikes a certain similarity, hence my usage of the word podcast. So, what am I talking about? So, if any of you experienced buying a Blu-ray set or a deluxe set of an anime DVD or Blu-ray set, you might notice that sometimes inside are bonuses that might include special light novel volumes, special manga volumes, or that other good stuff, right? You might also get some soundtracks and all that. But in addition to all of that, sometimes, occasionally, you might get these audio files. That's not really songs, they're just the characters or the voice actors talking to one another, and it's basically a radio drama of a scenario that's not technically canon. Now, that is called radio drama or radio. But these days, it's getting adapted less and less, and what's gonna happen is instead of those, we're gonna have podcasts, usually broadcasted on YouTube or other streaming sites, starring, of course, the voice actors interacting with other voice actors doing silly stuff. Now, one of the most famous voice actors that does a lot of this particular activity lately could be called Takashi Rie, famous for voicing Megumin from Konosuba or Emilia from ReZero and many other fabulous characters. I like her. I also play Genshin, so I specifically became a whale on Hu Tao's banner just for her. And yeah, that's the thing. And the thing is, while it is technically not canon, it's not even extra material for the show, it is nonetheless content to be enjoyed. And while some, like the radio dramas and all that, are taken specifically for the franchise and are a dramatized radio version of certain exclusive scenes, podcasts are not quite the same. But they do, in most cases, star scenarios that is similar or likely to happen in their respective franchise. For example, where Takashi Rie was starring in the podcast for Karakai Jozu no Takagi-san, she would tease, tease her fellow voice actors or us, the audiences, and the lines used are also, well, quite familiar. In addition to that, there's still the radio drama, and in some cases, these things are starting to get adapted not only by anime staff, but also from the manga publishers themselves, like Shonen Jump. I think I'll put a link down below for those kind of videos, or at least one of those type of video. You can look out the rest yourself. But yeah, I do enjoy those contents myself. And well, it's got its pros and it's got its cons. The con is it's quite limited. Not all works have this, and to be frank, they're kind of hard to find. Even if you do find them, if they're radio, you lack the visual information. And even if they do have pictures, most of them are stock pictures, meaning they're still, so there's no motion, none of that. So yes, that's a con. And there's also the fact that for the radios, most of the time you kind of need to buy the Blu-ray set, so it's also kind of pricey, even though it's technically free because it's a bonus. But the thing is, that's not really that big of a problem because you can just pirate it. Yeah, that's the thing. And I might make a video about piracy in the future, but I don't think I'll be making it anytime soon. But yeah, back to topic. The thing is, podcast is a bit of a funky stuff because, as I mentioned earlier, it's not canon. So no matter how much you enjoy it, you need to keep in mind that what happens there on those medias or platforms, they're about as real in terms of story or plot as those doujinshis you go to 18 plus sites to read. So yeah, kinda messed up, even though it's official medias. And because of that, there's just really not much to say. Now, me myself, I can enjoy the media because I can easily imagine the scenes from what I'm listening to, because I always have to imagine the scenes when I'm basically reading my light novels or my web novels. And because of that, I have no problems whatsoever imagining the scenes or the scenarios that basically being dramatized in those radio shows. But if you can't, then that might be a con for you in terms of this media. But all in all, I do enjoy this media, and if you were to ask me, do I recommend this? Yes. And it might not sound appealing at first, but okay, so I'll be linking a video. I said earlier that I might scratch that. I will now. I will be linking a video on the description, and well, try reading the manga for that, and then try watching that, or listen to that video again, and you'll see what I'm trying to say. It's one of those things where you don't really want it if you don't know it, but if you know it, you want more. It's one of those things. So do I recommend it? Yes and no. Why? Because it's nice, that's why yes. No, because in the case that you do enjoy it, you're kind of stuck waiting for the next one. Like me, sometimes the next one might not even happen because it's that rare. So yeah, if you're interested, maybe you can check some out. If you're not, oh well, good for you. See you next time.